I've been making Harry Potter videos on this channel for a long time now, which is why it's crazy I've never made a list of the most powerful wizards of all time. Today we're going to go over the 20 most powerful characters in the Harry Potter series. These could be characters from the 7 books or deep Wizarding World lore. I have put together what I think is the definitive list, and I'm excited to share it with you guys. If you like this video, hit that like button. It will greatly help with the algorithm for the channel. And if you enjoy what you see, hit that subscribe button, and you can also follow me on all of my socials. All of that is linked down below. Before we get into it though, I recently partnered with MyHeritage who sponsored this video. MyHeritage gave me a chance to look back at my own family history, which I think is so cool. They send you this awesome kit and they make it so easy. All you have to do is swab each of your cheeks for 30 seconds and insert the swabs into the vials. You then place both vials in the plastic bag, insert it into the enclosed envelope, mail it to MyHeritage's lab, and you receive your results in 3 to 4 weeks, which it has now been for me. I just got my results and I'm going to live react to it. Okay, I'm 64.6% English, I think that I know. 12.1% East European, interesting. 9.3% Scandinavian, very interesting, I didn't know that. 8.8% Irish, Scottish, and Welsh. I also love the music that they use. 5.2% West Asian? Wow, I did not know that. That's actually really cool. And I'm sort of shocked, honestly. I would have never known that if it wasn't for MyHeritage. You can find out your own family history too, plus get an amazing platform for family history and research. You can use my link to buy a DNA kit, which is linked down below, and if you use my coupon code MOVIEFLAME, you get free shipping on top of that. And on top of that, as an added bonus, you can start a 30-day free trial of MyHeritage's best subscription for family history research, and enjoy a 50% discount if you decide to continue it. It's a great product, it's fun for the whole family, so check it out, it's all linked down below. Now, let's get the video started. At number 20, I put Harry Potter. He has to be on this list. After everything he did as a child, from beating Quirrell, killing a freaking grown basilisk, and fighting Voldemort on numerous occasions, he's a pretty powerful kid who would only get stronger as he got older. He went on to become the head of the Auror office in the Ministry without even finishing his schooling, which says a lot. He definitely deserves to be on this list, but I don't think he can go anywhere higher than number 20. At number 19, I have Rufus Scrimgeour. We have another head of the Auror office, and I think Scrimgeour in his prime was more powerful than Harry. He was a hardened badass who fought dark wizards for years. We of course only saw him when he was in his older years after becoming Minister of Magic, but his reputation from when he was younger precedes him. Number 18 is Nicholas Flamel. Flamel isn't your average powerful wizard who would destroy you in a fight. His power comes from his intellect, as he was the only known maker of the Philosopher's Stone, or if you're in America, the Sorcerer's Stone, which was a legendary substance with incredible powers. You have to not only be knowledgeable to make such a thing, but also have very powerful magic to do so. And just adding to his strength, his intellect gave him a way to become more powerful through his invention, and he then had over 6 centuries to learn and grow his magic, which of course made him way above average. Number 17 is Gormlaith Gaunt. Gormlaith was a descendant of Salazar Slytherin himself, and she even wielded his incredibly powerful wand. With a wand that didn't choose her, meaning it wouldn't work as well, she was very skillful as a dark witch, which makes you wonder how much more skillful she would have been if she had a wand that actually chose her. The most impressive show of her power was when she was able to subdue the entire family that created Ilvermorny, the American Wizarding School, and she single-handedly forced her way in. The only thing that stopped her was a surprise attack from a Pukwudgie, which honestly is one of the reasons why she's not higher on the list. At number 16, I put Rowena Ravenclaw. Ravenclaw is another person in the Wizarding world who showed off their power by making something, much like Nicholas Flamel did. She was arguably the smartest witch or wizard in Wizarding World history, and she used that brain power to create her incredibly powerful diadem, which when worn boosted her intellect even more, as the diadem enhanced the wisdom of the wearer. She really showed off her intellect as she not only created but protected Hogwarts, one of the most powerful schools of all time. And we know that she did the majority of this work, as she was the one who created the incredibly complex floor plan of the castle. However, despite being so smart, her dueling was pretty lackluster, which is why she just barely missed out on being in the top 15. With that being said, Minerva McGonagall definitely deserves to be in the top 15, which is why I'm putting her in the 15th spot. She is an incredible duelist. She's one of the most gifted characters in the series when it comes to transfiguration, not to mention a pretty impressive expert in most other fields of magic as well, and she's an animagus, which takes insane magic and dedication to become. There were several times in the series where she had powerful Death Eaters running for their lives, which is incredibly noteworthy and really shows off how skillful and powerful McGonagall really is. At 14, I put Kingsley Shacklebolt. Kingsley was arguably the most powerful employed Auror at the time of the original series. He was always put on the most important assignments like guarding the Prime Minister or watching over Harry.
Kingsley, I thought you were looking after the Prime Minister.
You are more important.
So this shows that people saw and recognized his immense importance. Throughout the Battle of the Department of Mysteries, the Battle of Seven Potters, and the Battle of Hogwarts, he was taking very powerful dark wizards down, even taking out 2 at once while riding a Thestral and while protecting Hermione. That's pretty impressive. The Wizarding World also saw his power and his worth after all of these battles, as they made him the next Minister of Magic. Bellatrix Lestrange takes the number 13 spot. She actually beat the last entry on this list in a duel, so she's clearly ahead of Kingsley. She also took down many other skilled Aurors, witches, and wizards, such as Alice and Frank Longbottom, Sirius Black, Nymphadora Tonks, a whole group of Snatchers single-handedly, and as I mentioned before, Kingsley, who's probably the most impressive defeat she has. On top of that, she gains a lot of power when tapping into the dark arts. She was Voldemort's number 2, which is an amazing honor, and she's a very skilled Occlumens and Legilimens, meaning she can read people's minds and block others from reading hers. In my book, she beats out everyone that came before her on my list by a pretty significant amount. I think this is the biggest gap between 2 numbers. At number 12, I have Alistair Mad Eye Moody. When we look at him in his prime, he is the best Auror in the history of the Ministry of Magic. We only saw the old and broken Moody, but when he was in his prime, he always got the job done, filling half the cells in Azkaban, which is a wild stat. And even more impressive, he did this without using the unforgivable curses unless absolutely necessary, only using it once against Evan Rosier.
Rosier is dead.
Yeah, he took a piece of me with him though, didn't he?
Between his dueling ability, his stealth, and his brain that worked like no one else's while in the field, he's a clear choice for this spot on the list. At number 11, I put Godric Gryffindor. Gryffindor is one of the best duelists in history, which makes him powerful in the most obvious way. He's winning most duels when it comes to pure combat, so that's the main reason why he's so pushed up on this list. On top of that, he was the leading member of the 4 founders who created the great Hogwarts Castle, as well as who put the powerful enchantments to protect the school from the outside. For number 10, I chose Salazar Slytherin. Yes, I think that Slytherin is the most powerful of the 4 founders, mainly because of his mastery in the dark arts, which normally gives you a leg up, and also because of his rare ability to speak to snakes, which let him control those beasts, as well as beasts related to them like the Basilisk, the most deadly beast of all time. And paired with all of that, he also held his own against Gryffindor in a massive duel, which is very impressive considering how skilled Gryffindor is at dueling. At number 9, I'm putting Severus Snape. Snape is perhaps the most skilled potioneer in the series, as evidenced by his Half-Blood Prince book. But the crazy thing is that's not even his best subject. He's far more skilled in the dark arts, which is just insane. He also created a ton of his own incredibly powerful spells like Sectum Sempra, the Dangling Jinx, Langlock, and many more, a lot of which became common use with witches and wizards, showing just how impressive those spells are if they went into everyday use for everyday wizards. Snape is also perhaps the most skilled Occlumens we've ever seen, as he was able to fight Voldemort from reading his mind, while Voldemort is literally the most skilled at doing this besides maybe Dumbledore. On top of that, Snape was one of only 2 people who were able to fly without a broom, the only other person being Voldemort. And for all of you movie watchers who haven't read the book, I know that other characters fly in the films, but in the book, none of them did that. It was just Snape and Voldemort who had this rare ability. At number 8, I'm actually putting 3 different people, or more specifically, 3 different brothers: Antioch, Ignotus, and Cadmus Peverell. And no, not the ones from the myth who got the Deathly Hallows from death, but rather the real people that story was based on. They did not receive these 3 incredibly powerful objects from death. They created them themselves according to Dumbledore. To be able to create the most powerful wand in the world, a stone that can bring the dead back to life, and the most powerful and long-lasting invisibility cloak of all time, that shows you how incredibly skilled these brothers were with their magic. especially because having all three makes you the master of death. Like, that's otherworldly magic from anything else that we've ever seen, the closest thing being the Philosopher's Stone, but these are infinitely more powerful than that stone. At number 7, I'm putting the Hogwarts Legacy Avatar. I debated putting this in, but Hogwarts Legacy is considered canon, so I felt I had to add it. The main character is just incredible with his or her skill, as you show up for your first year of magical school at the age of a 5th year, and you learn very hard spells incredibly fast, arguably becoming the greatest Hogwarts student of all time. On top of that, you take out serious threats like Rookwood, Ranrock, poachers, powerful goblins, and so much more. But the thing that really places the Hogwarts Legacy Avatar this high is their use of ancient magic. Ancient magic is incredibly rare, and it grants you all sorts of wild powers and abilities. You see things others can't see, it gives you immense power while in combat, and it allows you to wield something that only a few others have wielded in the history of the Wizarding World. This character is so incredibly powerful, it's absurd, and it had to be on the list. Number 6 is Merlin. He had to be ranked this high because he's freaking Merlin. There's a reason he's the most famous wizard. Not only was he aware of ancient magic that we were just talking about when most knew nothing about it, but he also served King Arthur, protecting him and his army from thousands of enemies. He created and possessed very rare magic at the time and made a lot of it become common magical practice, and he had a legacy that changed the Wizarding World as we know it. Again, he's the most famous wizard for a reason. At number 5, we have Gellert Grindelwald. Like Merlin, Grindelwald was one of the most feared dark wizards in history for a good reason. He was insanely powerful, holding his own with Dumbledore not once, while Dumbledore also had help from his younger brother, not twice, but 3 different times, which is on another level if we're being honest. On top of that, he was brilliant, arguably coming close to Rowena Ravenclaw, and some even thinking his intelligence was equal to that of Albus Dumbledore himself. He also immersed himself in dark magic, which made him even more powerful, and this opened new branches of magic for him that he mastered alongside all of the other magic he excelled at producing. This included things like necromancy, which allowed you to rise the Wizarding World equivalent of zombies, either with Inferi or with the Qilin he brought back to life in the Secrets of Dumbledore. And just adding more to the list, Grindelwald was a skilled occlumens and mind reader, was a pretty powerful seer as he was able to predict World War II, and his intellect made him a natural leader, allowing him to create very loyal armies to follow him, which in turn gave him more power in numbers. Number 4, Credence Barebone or Aurelius Dumbledore. Credence is rare because most Obscurials die at a young age, but Credence lived into adulthood, which grew his Obscurus power exponentially, making him one of the most deadly forces the Wizarding World had ever seen. The amount of destruction he can cause just by screaming or letting his emotions loose can take down whole buildings, kill people in gruesome ways, and shows off just how strong he is. He was unlike anything the Wizarding World had or ever would see again, making his strength very unique, and in my opinion, making him all the more powerful because no one will ever wield this kind of power again. Reaching the top 3, we have Herpo the Foul. This is the guy that invented the dark arts, which is just crazy. He paved the way for every dark wizard who came after him. Not only did he invent the dark arts though, but he also invented 2 of the most powerful dark aspects of magic, as he discovered how to breed a basilisk, the most deadly creature in existence, and he created the art of creating Horcruxes, learning how to split your soul after murdering and placing it in an object to live longer. The fact that he created Horcruxes shows you how insanely powerful he is, because that's one of the most complicated and delicate branches of magic in existence, so I can't even imagine tampering with it. Tom Riddle, aka Lord Voldemort, takes the number 2 spot. Voldemort is one of the smartest wizards in history, is one of the best duelers in history, rivaling that of even Albus Dumbledore himself. He's one of only 2 people who can fly without a broom. He's one of the best Legilimens to ever live, meaning he can read almost everybody's mind with the exception of a few people. He dove deeper into dark magic than almost anybody, and completed magic that many thought was impossible when making his many Horcruxes. On top of that, he also mastered necromancy, creating a whole army of Inferi. He has the rare ability of speaking to snakes and basilisks, and he created many spells of his own. He also had the ability to make people follow him, giving him a loyal army of Death Eaters that added to his strength. And he even showed signs of very advanced magic when he was just a young kid who didn't even know he was magical yet, as he used his magic to torment, kill, and play with the other kids and their pets at the orphanage. Voldemort will for sure go down in history as one of the most powerful wizards to ever live. And at number 1, we have Albus Dumbledore. I'm sure most of you guessed this before the video even started. He's just on another level, beating anybody in a duel no matter who they are or how powerful they are. His knowledge of magic and honestly everything else in the world is unmatched. Any branch of magic, you name it. Transfiguration, potions, divination, astronomy, history of magic, care of magical creatures, heck, even alchemy. Dumbledore knows more about all of these subjects than pretty much everyone, even the teachers that teach those subjects. And his resume speaks for itself. He was Chief Warlock of the Wizengamot, the Supreme Mugwump of the International Confederation of Wizards, he held Order of Merlin First Class for Grand Sorcery, and he was the most revered headmaster of Hogwarts the Wizarding World had ever seen, not to mention one of the most pursued people to become Minister of Magic, which he always denied. He is without a doubt the most powerful wizard in the Wizarding World. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. You can follow me on Instagram to see more of my personal life, like my cute dog Loki, and some behind the scenes movie flame stuff. I also do similar content on TikTok and Twitter that I do here on this channel, so if you like what I do here, check them out. All the handles are right below me, and links are in the description. Over here are my wonderful patrons. If you want to be featured on the next video, plus get a few other perks, become a patron today. As always, if you liked the video, hit that like button and subscribe, and look out for more great movie flame videos on the way.